My name is Nancy Knorr. I'm the chairperson of Jobs for Minnesotans. Jobs for Minnesotans is a statewide coalition made up of labor, business, and community leaders that came together about 5 years ago to become the voice of the silent majority, is how I put it. We are now, as 55,000 union members of the Building Trades and Construction Council, over 500,000 employees of the Minnesota Chamber's 2,300 members. We have provided a very strong voice of support for industries such as copper nickel mining and now the energy transportation industry, particularly with the vast amount of investments that Enbridge has proposed. So this event is to just help us gather to not only be together as supporters, but also to recognize that this is a long haul, no pun intended, for safe energy transportation. And it's really up to those of us who are willing to stand up and speak in support to gather, in particular before these public meetings. And we are here obviously in Grand Rapids prior to tonight's public meeting that will take comments from the public on the draft environmental impact statement for Line 3. Line 3 is an important project that not only represents a huge economic opportunity for the state, and some of my colleagues will speak to that, but also is in particular a project that will protect our environment. And Jobs for Minnesotans is really, its mantra is that we have the ability to have our jobs and a quality environment. Earlier today, I think it's just kind of a neat coincidence that I was in Hibbing celebrating a $5 million construction project for Minnesota Diversified Industries, which also has offices here in Grand Rapids, employs hundreds of people in both northern Minnesota and St. Paul, Minnesota, making the famous totes for the U.S. Postal Service out of plastic. And plastic, of course, is made with petroleum products. And here we are celebrating a $5 million project for MDI with the hope of 100 other positions yet to be formed in their Hibbing office with the very materials that we're trying to safely transport in the state of Minnesota in order to make those products, liquid fuels and other products that really make our quality of life and our industry, commerce, and homes full of that material and help our quality of life occur. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleague and fellow board member, Brian Hansen, CEO of the Area Partnership for Economic Expansion. And Brian is going to introduce the rest of our speakers today. I'll remind you now, and Brian will remind you later, that we have materials in the back of the room to help you submit a written comment on the draft environmental impact statement if that is more convenient for you than being at the meeting this evening and speaking in public. So with that, I'm going to turn the podium over to Brian and appreciate your time and attention. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Nancy. Great introduction. Appreciate that very much. First, I want to start off by just welcoming you all here. People who, like myself, support clean energy transportation, and ergo, you support the Line 3 replacement project here in this region and in our great state of Minnesota. Pipeline operators and the supporting energy infrastructure, including many of you in this room, have a really long history of safely moving energy efficiently through our state. Along the way, we've enhanced our economy. We've created hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs, family-sustaining jobs. And now it's our turn to thank that industry for their support by supporting them and getting out there and putting in your comments at tonight's public hearing. So like all of you, I'm a Minnesotan and an outdoorsman, and the environment really matters to me. And that's why this $7.5 billion investment by Enbridge shows to me their commitment to our environment, their commitment to safe and efficient energy transportation. And the DEIS should really recognize that commitment, and there should be credit given where it's due for a project like this. The benefits of replacing aging infrastructure really matter, and we're facing that across our country. We're hearing about it every day, and this is a good start to get this moving along the way. Now, Along with these benefits of protecting our environment, there's also huge economic impacts. First of all, out of the $7.5 billion in this project, $1.5 billion of that will be spent right here in our state of Minnesota. 4,200 Minnesotans, jobs created for 4,200 Minnesotans during the construction period. That includes, and we have lots of folks working in the construction industry in this room, and that includes 2,000 of those jobs over a 2-year period. Each year, 2,000 jobs. So that impact is absolutely enormous. Right now, we have all kinds of people in the labor industry that are in other states working on pipeline projects. They're not home with their families. For the next 2 years, or the 2 years, 2019 and 2020, if things go well according to plan and according to a reasonable schedule here, those families will have their loved ones here at home instead of in Ohio. So we're really looking forward to that. And also, we'll be attracting people into our state to the tune of $162 million in spending from out-of-state contractors and employees coming here. So this project really matters locally on an economic level as well. So those are my quick comments, and I want to introduce our friend, Mayor Ben DiNucci from Nashwauk.
Thanks.
You bet.
Thanks everyone for coming today, and good afternoon. My name is Ben DiNucci. I'm speaking on behalf of the Range Association of Municipalities and Schools, also known as RAMS. Our Executive Director, Steve Georgie, could not be with us today. But RAMS is a regional group of public sector communities, townships, school districts located within the Taconite Assistance Area of northeastern Minnesota. RAMS represents over 72,000 residents in the region and is governed by a board of directors consisting of 22 elected officials like myself and 2 school superintendents. RAMS stands with the workers on the Enbridge Line 3 replacement project. The leadership of RAMS recognized the safety advantages of the new pipeline over the old pipeline, which is no longer functioning at full capacity. High-tech monitoring and the skilled, qualified craftsmen building this pipeline ensure the long-term, safe delivery of oil to the refinery in Superior. The economic benefits of 1,500 high-paying construction jobs will also provide some great opportunities for Iron Range workers to prosper and continue to provide for their families. An example of the tangible benefit of the estimated $2.1 billion investment by Enbridge in Minnesota is the economic boost to many small communities, like mine in Nashwauk during the project. Building America with American workers and American steel is the right thing for this region and for our country. RAMS is proud to endorse this project. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. So just like our organization, Apex, that has passed a resolution of support for Enbridge in these major projects, we know that RAMS has done so as well, and thank you for that very much. Next up, we're going to get the perspective of our friends in labor that are here in the room today from Derek Peterson. Thanks, Derek.
Hi, I'm Derek Peterson. I'm here representing 2,000 laborers, union laborers in our area. I'm a pipeliner. I've worked on the Enbridge lines for 8 years. There's extensive training required to hold the standards of personal environmental safety. Several in-depth tests I've taken with safety through Enbridge and their subcontracted employers to work efficiently and effectively. We work long hours, we work hard, we work away from our families to put food on our tables, to put roofs over our families' heads, and to just take care of everyday necessities just like you guys. As a pipeliner, it's important for me that our policymakers understand the importance of encouraging the replace infrastructure when it's needed. Enbridge has provided specific and detailed analysis regarding the pervasive and serious integrity issues of Line 3. I personally have extensive work on Line 3 for the past 5 years. I work for a company right out of Grand Rapids here, Casper Construction. It needs to be replaced now. We have all the new technology, more durable coatings, and previous testing. Enbridge can build a safer pipeline. When I read the draft environmental impact statement, I'm not left with the impression that the no-build option has minimal impacts. But continuing to operate existing Line 3 with all its integrity issues comes with significant risk, and I hope that Minnesota fully recognizes that, and we support and approve the replacement. With respect of the draft environmental impact statement, the labor benefits would be tremendous on a project of this magnitude. We have many local high-skilled construction workers that would do quality work and able to stay safe in the construction of Line 3 replacement. These individuals rely on permanent jobs in temporary locations to make a living. Thank you for supporting this project.
So nothing bothers me more than when project opponents say, oh, those are construction jobs, they're temporary jobs, why are you counting those? Well, you heard why. And next you're gonna hear why from Paul Hawkinson, the general manager at Hawkinson Construction, whose family has made a living over many, many years on projects like this one.
Thank you, sir. As he mentioned, my name is Paul Hawkinson. I'm a manager, not the general manager, and I'm one of the owners. And we have worked with Enbridge on quite a few projects, but as a business owner and a community member on Enbridge's preferred route, I have witnessed many survey crews in our community looking for artifacts and examining lakes and rivers over the past 4 years. This route has been well studied, and Enbridge's efforts to avoid high quality resources should be further recognized in the DEIS. I have about 15 years experience working with the pipeline. Our company has had more than that, probably 30 or 40 years working with different pipeline companies, but in particular, Enbridge has been a fantastic company to work for. Probably the best pipeline that we've dealt with, and we've dealt with quite a few of them. So based on their standards for the environment, their standards for safety, I would definitely say that they are for sure hands down the best pipeline we've worked with. When building a pipeline, any environmental impacts are short-term and are mitigated in step with environmental regulations. Enbridge takes the responsibility very seriously and instills this into the contracts and into the vendors like mine. Removal of existing Line 3 would be more disruptive than leaving it in the ground. So again, I would just say I do think that Enbridge is responsible, and they're proactive in all of their environmental and safety, and we just appreciate them here. So thank you.